This guy is a walking treasure trove. He can snap an 881-pound log like a twig with just one hand. And his legs, they can smash through 1,322-pound rocks. And his head's like a sledgehammer, ready to bash through anything. But wait, his mouth's even more impressive. It's like a freaking Gatling gun, spewing out 30 caliber bullets. Whether it's in the air, on the ground, or in the water, they're all his targets. And if things get dry, this guy's body can produce 4,000 pounds of pure water. But what really sets him apart? It's the constant production of flammable gas, a human farting machine. He can swim as fast as a speedboat. It's like he's cheating. So here's the deal. Meet Hank, stranded on a desert island, but he's stumbled upon someone truly extraordinary. Hank is about to hang himself, because he's stranded on a deserted island. But out of the blue, he spots a figure lying on the shore. As he moves closer, he slips on the sand, accidentally kicking over a crate he had been using as a makeshift stool. Talk about a close call. Thankfully, the rope snaps, sparing him from his desperate act. Approaching the figure, Hank is taken aback. The guy bears an uncanny resemblance to Harry Potter.
Expecto Patronum!
Without hesitation, Hank starts performing CPR, but to no avail. As he leans in, he hears a rumble from the guy's stomach, followed by a loud fart. Oh, come on. Deciding to go ahead with his original plan, Hank removes his belt and loops it around his neck. But just as he's about to take the final step, he notices something peculiar. Harry's body begins to tremble, its vibrations resembling those of a fart. A wave sweeps him out to sea. Between Harry's legs, it seems like a bubbling cauldron of water, with a series of farts pushing him forward like a motorized mini-engine. This dead guy keeps on farting. Hank's thinking he's like a freaking speedboat. So Hank unbuckles his belt, then he grabs that rope lying there, and catches up to Harry. They're tearing it up across the ocean, just like a speedboat. Man, Hank gives the reins a tug and shifts into high gear. Feels good, finally leaving that deserted rock. Hank's been cruising in that fart mobile for ages, but then whoosh, the gas runs out, the power fizzles, and they take the plunge into the water. When Hank comes to, guess what's waiting? A bag of Cheez-Its. Hank's pumped. Snacks. Looks like there's civilization around. He pulls out his phone, but no signal, and it's barely holding a charge at 10%. Hank's thinking Harry practically saved his butt. So Hank hoists Harry up and heads inland. But man, Harry's still letting him rip. The stench is mouth-watering. Good thing Hank stumbles upon a bunch of junk. And what do you know? A bottle cap plugs up Harry's gas leak, then it starts pouring overnight. Hank and Harry take shelter in a cave. Hank's stranded on this island, thirstier than a camel in the desert. But then what's this? Harry's spitting out water like there's no tomorrow. Quick thinking, Hank props him up, gives him a pat, and whoosh, water shoots out like a geyser. Hank grabs a glassful and chugs it down. But as he tries for another sip, another press, and the water spurts out again. Oh man, talk about a human hydration station. But alas, Harry's water supply dries up quicker than a leaky faucet. Suddenly Harry chirps.
Okay, buddy.
Hank's thrown into a panic. He socks Harry one, thinking it's a zombie prank, and bolts. Now armed with a stick, Hank returns for a chat. Turns out Harry's the real deal Harry Potter himself, but clueless as a goldfish. Hank tries jogging his memory with all sorts of human junk, boxes, busted mags, shades, you name it. But nada. Harry's memory's playing hide and seek. The dead guy spots a gorgeous woman in a magazine. His heart starts racing, and his excitement rises. Hank notices that Harry's pointer is aiming in the same direction. That's gotta be the way back home. It's like a built-in compass. He keeps Harry fixated on the magazine the whole way, and he relies on Harry's pointer to guide them forward. But before long, Harry loses interest in the magazines. Seems he's all beautied out. Hank carries Harry on his back, and steps right into a fresh pile of bear crap. There's bound to be some wild critters lurking nearby. Hank accidentally switches on his cell phone, setting off a commotion among the wildlife. In a moment of panic, Hank tosses Harry aside, and they both go tumbling down the mountain. Suddenly Harry catches sight of a beautiful woman on the phone screen, and he's instantly smitten. The compass kicks in once more. In their quest to return home, Hank gets creative. He dresses up in a makeshift woman costume with a bunch of rags, and surprisingly he pulls it off. Harry couldn't be happier. This guy is absolutely extraordinary. His mouth can cut rope and shave, and his noggin can be used as a sledgehammer. Hank crafts a bus with Harry's body, to really sell the illusion. Hank slaps some plant headphones on Harry's ears. The scenery outside comes to life. Now Harry can reminisce about the good old days. Back when Harry used to ride the bus every single day, just waiting for his crush to show up. But he never has the guts to tell her how he felt. So Hank encourages Harry to take a chance, to make up for his own missed shot at love. To add some extra swag, Hank slides Harry's shades on. He lifts Harry up like a champ and saunters him over to the girl. They're vibing to the same tune, and he grabs her hand. Their eyes lock. Just as the girl's about to say her name, Harry blurts out it.
Sarah?
And he holds onto Sarah's hand tight. Hank pulls away his hand. And boom, there's a spark of love. Hank grabs Harry's hand and releases it with force, causing sparks to fly. Suddenly Harry's body unlocks new abilities. It seems that making Harry happy triggers these new skills. Now with fire in hand, they turn dried corn into popcorn. Hank maximizes his handyman skills by constructing an open-air movie theater and playing Jurassic Park. But when Harry chokes on his popcorn, Hank immediately scoops him up. That sparks joy in Harry once again. And just like that, Harry develops a new skill. Anything he puts in his mouth is ejected at high velocity. Together they climb out of the valley. With a small rock in his mouth, Harry transforms into a makeshift machine gun. Whether in the air, on the ground, or in the water, they can eat anything they want. Harry can even transform into a Gatling and shoot at the stream. They even stumble upon a bottle of vodka, throwing a party and indulging in a feast together. Finally they reach an iron bridge. This guy effortlessly splits an 881-pound log in half with just one hand, then uses his legs to crush a massive boulder. Just a moment ago, Hank carefully carries Harry on his back, only for the bridge to collapse under their weight. They plunge into the river below, with Harry hurtling towards the river bottom. Hank swims with all his might, then plants a wet one on Harry's lips. And just like that, Harry's back to his jolly self, his earth-shattering fart blasting them out of the water, in a scene even more unforgettable than the Titanic's. Later that evening, as they gather around the campfire, Hank opens up about his family. His mother left when he was young, and his father's never been much of a presence. He even shares some down-to-earth advice with Harry, telling him to hold back on public farting, while Harry, annoyed, takes it out on the environment by splitting an 881-pound log with one hand and smashing a boulder with his legs. Hank finds himself stranded in the woods, turns on his cell phone and finds a signal, but it's down to just 3% battery. Instead of calling for help, he opts to scroll through his ex-girlfriend's social media. Hank doesn't want to go back to the real world, until Harry interrupts with news of a bear staring at them. Quickly gearing up for battle, Hank whirls around, looks up, opens Harry's mouth and loads the gun, all at once. But just as he's about to unleash his firepower, Harry spots a photo of Sarah with her husband. In an instant, Harry's special power fizzles out, and the bear seizes the opportunity to swipe at Hank's foot. Harry is in a bear's clutches. In a life-or-death moment, Hank's piggybacking Harry with his butt facing the bear, then conjuring a fiery serpent with just a flick of Harry's hand. Talk about surprising the bear. Man, humans still do that. Boom, the enormous fart propels them skyward, soaring a whopping 328 feet into the air. They land at the top of a tree, narrowly escaping the bear's grasp. Harry learns that Sarah is married, leading to an emotional breakdown. Tears stream down his face. In that moment, Hank falls from the tree. The bear clamps down on his leg. Seeing Hank in peril, Harry finds a renewed sense of purpose. He struggles and frees himself from the tree. Then he ignites a fire with a well-placed fart, scaring that bear off into the wilderness. Saved from danger, they quickly put out the fire. The next morning, Harry carries Hank on his back to Sarah's house. Spotting Sarah, Harry rushes forward, but Hank backs out and heads for the woods, only to be stopped by Harry. And guess what? Here come the cops. Harry's endless farting is like sweet music to the ears. He's zooming through the ocean like a bullet, faster than a speedboat. His buddy Hank is getting his moment in the limelight with a TV interview. He spills the beans about their fantastical journey. But seriously, who'd believe a corpse could have superpowers? Hank and Harry are taking one hell of a ride down that hill, plunging into the river and drifting ashore. Hank can't bear to watch Harry go up in flames. After all, Harry's his ride or die. Hank drags Harry to the shore, whispering to him like he's still alive. And that's why people think he's off his rocker. The cops slap handcuffs on Hank, but then Harry's body starts shaking. Out comes another monstrous fart, shaking the ground. Hank leans in close, whispering something in Harry's ear. Next thing you know, Harry's off on another ocean adventure, tooting away with pure joy. This time, he's finally free.